Listen closely. The man you're building is valuable, but he's also vulnerable. He's just starting out, growing, strengthening, but still susceptible to the forces that want to tear him down. And those forces are everywhere. The world won't make it easy for you. It will test you, tempt you, and try to break you. If you don't protect the man you're becoming, he'll never become what he could be. It's simple. Either you protect your identity, your discipline, and your values, or the world will destroy them before you even notice. The man you're building must be protected at all costs. There's no room for negligence, for carelessness, for letting your guard down. Because the world will do everything it can to distract you, corrupt you, and pull you away from your true essence. Are you ready to face this? Are you prepared to protect who you're becoming? Look around. The world is armed against you, ready to lead you astray at every step. Distractions are everywhere, waiting for a moment of weakness. Social media sucking up precious hours of your day, pointless videos, endless and empty conversations, nights wasted on immediate pleasures that bring no real return. They may seem small, insignificant, but each one works against you, undermining your discipline, stealing your focus, silently corroding the man you're trying to build. The problem with these distractions is that they're seductive. They promise momentary relief, a temporary escape from the pressure, but in the end, they leave you empty. You start with just 5 minutes on the phone, and before you know it, an hour is gone. An hour you could have used to build something meaningful, to get closer to the man you want to be. These distractions are like slow poison. You don't notice the damage immediately, but over time, they destroy you. But it's not just distractions that bring you down. Temptations are always lurking, offering shortcuts that seem promising, but deep down, only pull you further away from your goals. People around you will say you're overdoing it, that you're trying too hard, that you need to enjoy life. They'll invite you to parties, to waste your time and energy on things that hold no real value. They'll try to convince you that discipline is oppressive, that your values can be compromised just this once. And do you know what's worse? These temptations disguise themselves as comfort, relief, or reward. But the price of momentary comfort is always long-term failure. Every time you give in, every time you choose the easier path, you're weakening the man you're forming. You're telling yourself that you're not strong enough, that you don't deserve the respect you're seeking, that you don't have what it takes to get where you want to go. Negative influences are perhaps the most dangerous of all. These are the people who, consciously or not, want to keep you in the same place as them. They're afraid to see you grow because it exposes their own stagnation. They pull you down with subtle criticism, mockery, or comments like, "Why do you care so much about that?" They feed off your doubt, hoping you'll stumble because it validates their own lack of effort. And if you're not careful, you'll end up being dragged back into the comfort of mediocrity. You need to understand that the world doesn't want you to win. It wants you to fit in, to go with the flow, to be just another face in the crowd. Because a disciplined, focused, and unshakable man is a threat. He challenges the norm. He exposes the laziness and weakness around him. That's why the world offers you distractions and temptations at every turn, not to help you, but to destroy you. So, how will you respond? Will you allow these forces to lead you astray? Will you lose yourself in immediate pleasures and illusory shortcuts? Or will you protect the man you're building by saying no to everything that tries to weaken you? Because every decision you make, no matter how small, is either shaping or destroying your identity. Every time you choose discomfort, focus, and discipline over distractions, you strengthen the man you're becoming. Remember, distractions and temptations will never go away. They'll always be there, waiting for a moment of weakness. But it's up to you to decide whether they'll dominate you or whether you'll dominate them. Protect your discipline, defend your values. Because, in the end, the man you want to be will only have a chance if you have the strength to resist everything trying to destroy you. You're in the middle of a war, not a visible war, but a silent and constant battle against everything trying to steer you off course. Protecting the man you're building requires more than just willpower. It demands deliberate action. It requires you to build impenetrable barriers against the distractions, temptations, and negative influences that threaten your discipline and values. Because let me tell you, without these barriers, you'll never have a real chance to become who you want to be. These barriers start with discipline. Discipline is the foundation that supports everything. It's what keeps you from giving in when temptation whispers, "Just this once." It's what forces you to say no when everything inside you wants to say yes. To build these barriers, you need to establish clear boundaries for yourself. There's no room for negotiation. If you know something weakens you, avoid it. If you know certain people lead you astray, cut them out of your life. It might seem extreme, but remember, mediocrity creeps in through the details. A small slip today can turn into a destructive habit tomorrow. And yes, this will be hard. You'll be tempted to break your own rules. You'll face criticism from people who don't understand your journey. But let me remind you, protecting the man you're building is your responsibility. No one else will do it for you. Discipline isn't something you practice when it's convenient. It needs to be constant, unwavering, because the world won't stop testing your resolve. But it's not just about discipline. Protecting the man you're building also means protecting your values. And to do that, you need absolute clarity about what you believe in and what's non-negotiable in your life. What principles guide you? What are you willing to sacrifice to maintain your integrity? If you can't answer these questions, you're vulnerable. Because if you don't define your values, the world will define them for you. And trust me, the world doesn't care about what's best for you. It only wants you to conform. Your values are your shield against external influences. They're the anchor that keeps you steady when the waves of temptation and distraction try to knock you down. They remind you why you started this journey and what's at stake if you fail. And every time you choose to stick to your values instead of taking the easy way out, you strengthen the man you're becoming. Every decision aligned with your principles is a victory. It's one more brick in the construction of your identity. Building barriers means being strategic. It's not just about saying no to everything. It's about creating an environment that fosters your growth. This might mean limiting your time on social media, trading empty nights for productive days, or even redefining your social circle. Because yes, the people around you have a direct impact on who you become. If they don't share your vision, if they don't challenge you to be better, then they're a threat. And to protect the man you're building, you need to be relentless. You need to surround yourself with people who share your values and support your discipline. And finally, building barriers is about consistency. It's no use erecting walls if you tear them down at the first test. Your barriers need to be solid, resilient, and long-lasting. They need to be reinforced every day with every decision you make. It's not easy. It will require sacrifice. But it's precisely that sacrifice that sets you apart, strengthens you, and builds the man you want to become. Remember, the world is always trying to bring you down, but the power is in your hands. You can choose to give in and let distractions and temptations destroy your journey. Or you can choose to build barriers, protect your discipline, defend your values, and become unshakable. The choice is yours. But know this, every time you protect the man you're building, you come closer to your best version. And that is worth any sacrifice. If there's one thing you can never compromise, it's your integrity. Integrity is the foundation of the man you're becoming. It means doing what's right, even when no one is watching. It means keeping your promises, fulfilling your responsibilities, and acting according to your values no matter the situation. Because the moment you compromise your integrity, you compromise everything. You weaken your discipline, betray your values, and ultimately destroy the identity you're trying to build. Protect your integrity as if your life depends on it, because in truth, it does. A man without integrity is empty. He may have strength, he may have discipline, but without integrity, he has no respect, not from others and not from himself. And self-respect is the foundation of any true transformation. Now that you understand what's at stake, the challenge lies before you. The man you want to be is emerging, but he's still vulnerable. He needs protection. He needs you to stand firm, to resist temptations, to say no to distractions and yes to what truly matters. Because in the end, Either you defend the man who's emerging, or you let him die before he even has a chance to live. So what will you do? Will you keep allowing external forces to control your life, or will you take charge and protect your identity with everything you've got? Because the world won't stop. It will keep testing you, tempting you, trying to bring you down. But the true man rises, builds barriers, and protects what's his. He protects his discipline, his values, his integrity. He protects his identity. And by doing so, he becomes unshakable. The man you're building is your greatest achievement. Don't let anything or anyone destroy him. Defend him, protect him, become unshakable.